Hello again. This is Sophia Kay. I'm Greek, and given the opportunity that I have just completed my second book, The Traps of Human Thought and Knowledge, I'm here to talk to you about ways you can start identifying the traps and the ways your thoughts and your thinking, your own thinking and intellectual process can actually trap and sabotage your own life. I have mentioned many things that you can do so as to start observing your own thoughts in my previous videos. Today, I want to about talk to you about two very important aspects as far as the nature of our thinking process is concerned. The first one is proximity of our own thoughts and interaction of our own thoughts, which means that we can influence the others with our own thinking process, with our own thoughts. We can transmit our thoughts, and therefore the others can transmit their thoughts as well to us. Okay? Both consciously and subconsciously, this process takes place all the time. We are, let's not forget, um, collective beings, and therefore we bathe into the collective consciousness of all mankind. Therefore, our own thought thinking patterns, the thought patterns that we carry, are actually the thought patterns of humanity itself. In order to be able to step outside this realm of influence, there are certain things that we need to do. First of all, we have to clarify and see and understand that we are and accept that we are humanity, that we are one with humanity, and that yes, we are influenced all the time. Okay, we are connected. From the moment a person steps into our lives, this person will start influencing us both in a subtle level, which means our energy and even physically we are going to be influenced, but mainly our own thoughts and our own patterns, the patterns of our own thinking process. In order to be able to understand these and maybe start avoiding these, is that we really have to understand what is the nature of our ground. We have to recognize our own territory. We have to understand who we are, how we are in our weaknesses and our strong points. How does our thinking process work? What are the repetitive thoughts that come and go all the time? We have to spot them, write them down, and understand that the things that belong to us, okay? So as to start putting some boundaries and some limits, both for positive and negative things in our lives. The second thing, the second thing that we really need to take under consideration is what I mentioned in my last video, the fact that there are the first thoughts, the obvious thoughts that come into a more obvious plane, so to speak, and then we have the secondary thoughts that are hidden behind. And they seem to be very unconscious and silent. And these thoughts, what they do, are interconnected, interrelated with the brain's capacity to store up information and images from the past. The brain has this capacity, it does it even mechanically. Whatever it sees from the eyes, whatever we put our eyes on, it absorbs, it takes into it, and it makes part of our consciousness. Okay, that's why scrolling on social media can be very, very dangerous, because everything becomes our own business, everything becomes an individual personal business. So the brain stores this information, and from the moment our own consciousness presents certain gaps or certain holes, then the brain comes to fill these gaps, these holes, with images and memories from the past, so as to bring them into our present. So our consciousness may stand there empty with great holes and gaps, And our brain has this capacity to bring the images and the memories from the past and validate them into our own present time. That's why we need to be there and stand strongly within our own territory, the territory of our own consciousness. Okay? And we have to spot every little voice that is coming from the secondary thoughts. These secondary thoughts are also responsible for unconscious feelings, for feelings and emotions that we do not understand where they come from. You might feel at some point sadness, you might feel sad and you don't know why. You know you had some bad dreams and today you feel very bad, but why? Well, it's nothing else but these secondary thoughts that have a real voice, a voice of their own, and are keeping your consciousness stuck in the past and repeating the patterns of the past again and again, so that this persona that you were in the past reappears in the present and therefore is there all the time, and therefore you are blocked all the time and you cannot move ahead. In order for you to move ahead, you have to realize that there is no past and there is no future. So, what you're doing now and where you are standing now counts. So, the first thing you have to do in the right here, right now situation is to be present within yourself, both your in a conscious and unconscious level. From the moment you start spotting both the first thoughts and the thoughts hidden behind them, things will start clarifying. They will start being more clear in your head. If you have more things to add to all this, or if you need some kind of help, or you have questions about all this, you can find me in my WhatsApp number that you will find in the commentary section.